Hey everyone, this is the continuation on chapter 4, exercise 4.7. Okay, this time around we're doing it from student B's perspective. And if you did not check out the solution, the question itself, this is it right here. Suppose a pentagon, in fact, I don't have to read it through, you can simply pause it and then come back to my IDE right here. Right, so here's what I've done. Okay, I've already created a class for this exercise, and again you guys can see it's from student perspective, someone who's a bit clever than student A. So here's what we're simply going to do. The very first thing we'll do is to create an angle for our first point, P1. If you recall, what we did is from student A's perspective, we had a constant, and that constant, our angle was a constant, and that constant was 45. That is pi over 4. This time around, we're going to spice things up a little bit. In fact, we're going to make our solution a little more dynamic, right? In fact, more, as you guys said, our last solution was static, so this one here should be dynamic. So we want to come up with something dynamic. So I'll simply go first point angle. I'm sorry for using one and the same variable names. I'm used to giving something descriptive for my variables. Okay. So here's what I will do. First things first, I want a random angle from 0 to 360. So this is how I'm gonna go about doing that. We'll simply use the random class, and then I'll simply go 360. In fact, I gotta go 360. Why not 361? Because I also want to include 360. Okay, so this is how we do that. However, this is not what we need, because what we're working with are radians, not degrees. So we gotta convert that not random 2 degrees to radians, right? We need to convert this randomly generated angle from 0 to 360, right? And now you can make an argument that even if it doesn't matter here, I can put any number from any number above 360, it would work. So I'll see. I'm simply gonna leave it as 361 though. So there's nothing much to worry about that. Again, any number above 360 here would do it. Okay. So here's what I'll do. I'll simply paste something here, and I'll walk you guys through it, because this stuff we did on my previous solution. This point here corresponds to point P1, this one over here. Again, I told you guys I want my solution to be dynamic. This point could have been a little bit above, right? Or maybe below, and still you would have had a pentagon. So this is how we go about getting our first point. This is it right here. Again, we know that our second point is in the angle. Oh, in fact, I made a stupid mistake. This one here supposed to be 90. Why? I want a random number between 0 and 90. Because if you do it from 0 to 360, that would mean that our point P1 might be right between point P2 and P3, or maybe between point P3 and point P4, perhaps even between point P4 and P5, or maybe at exactly point P4 or P3 or whatever, right? I hope everyone gets the idea here. The point is, we make sure that our point P1 is between the angle 0 and 190, excluding 90, of course. Okay, we're done with our first point, or we're done with our second point, our third point now. Okay, how are we gonna go about getting our third point? We can simply go, let's just spice things up a little bit. Again, we can for our third point, we can just go 180 minus our randomly generated angle, right? Okay, again, for our first point, we can just go 180 plus our randomly generated angle. That's clear for everyone, I'm assuming. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to let me know down in the comments. And then lastly, for our fifth angle, we can simply get the negation of our first angle. Again, that's one way of doing it. Another one will simply be 360, which is math.pi 360 minus just like that. Okay, so we've got all of our 5 points. However, this time around our pentagon is dynamic, so it is time we actually display our points. Okay, so how am I gonna go about doing that? It's simple. I'll simply use a printf statement as opposed to a print statement. That way I'll be able to round off my answer to 2 decimal places. Let me do it like this: system.out.printf. So here's what I'll do. I'll just go okay, this is my fade point, this is my face point right here. So here I can simply put something like how many spaces do I want to the left? Let's just go 7. 3 numbers after a decimal point, and then I put an F. I'll simply copy that and paste it. There will be it for my first coordinate. So it's gonna be X P1 X P1 Y, right? However, I want to do this for all my points, so that will be it for my for my first point. However, one and the same thing for my second point. Again, and my third point too. Seems like we're gonna have to go to the next line here. Oops. Why did I do that? Undo. Okay. What I wanted to say is to do is that. Okay, that's for the 4th point, and lastly that is for the 5th point, right? Okay, let me just go. I don't know, maybe I'm maybe I'm confusing you guys by copying and pasting, but somehow for me I think it's minimizing the period it will take to complete this exercise here. So wanna do P3, P1, P2, P3. Let's do P4, P4, and lastly let's do P5. Basically there is nothing complex about this. What I'm doing here, I'm using printf, and I'm simply making sure that my output is properly formatted. So if you don't know what's going on here, please check out my videos on chapter 2, because I've played around a lot with printf statements there. Okay, so let's try to hit the run button and see what we get, folks. Let me just put any number. It could be 100. It could be something else too. Damn, why did I leave a bunch of spaces to the left? In fact, I shouldn't have done that. Damn, why did I leave 7 spaces to the left? That's why I've got that. Let me just leave 2 of them. Then we won't have those spaces to the left of our numbers. See here? We've got a space preceding our 77 value, right? Okay. Again, let's put something like 300. Again, folks, I understand that people might not trust my solution. So here's what I'll do. I'll also upload a video. We'll be using this solution here and something else. By something else, I mean some other application to demonstrate that my solution indeed works as expected, right? Okay, that should be it for this tutorial, you guys. I'll see you on the next one when we actually do the checking of our solution. Cheers, you guys. I'm gone for now.